What's up, YouTube?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Comment down below
With your thoughts.
Leave your thoughts down below. What did you think about this episode of Five Nights at Freddy's?
Why don't you hit the comment section after hitting that like button? Tell me what are your 5 favorite hate crimes.
Make sure subscribe, hit that notification button. Oh my god. Anyway, welcome to whatever the fuck this is now.
Yeah.
This is the Don't Panic podcast now. Welcome back. We took a tiny baby little hiatus, kind of a month. So our face.
Don't hate us for the hiatus. All right, sorry, keep going.
That, you know, I was gonna say please forgive us for the hiatus, but after you said that, I think we're done. I think it's over. We can call it quits. Thank you, everyone. Yep. But no, just to update people. So on my end, I have been trying to, for the last month or so, secure new housing and new employment and such. And that took up a lot of time because I only had a very short time to move from one place to the other and figure out a living situation, which luckily I did. I got a new spot. I'm living. I'm about to start a new job, and everything's kind of chilling right now. You know,
that's what's up. That's what's up, and I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I was emotionally invested kind of through the whole process.
Yep, you know. It was a shitty time, but we moved past it. Things happen. Personalities clash. People end up realizing that the living situation isn't what they wanted it to be. So we had to change it. Yeah. And change it for the better. I believe we did. So that's that, and we can move on. But what's up with you, my guy?
Man, I've just been busy. I've been working, still working for a landlord. But it's what pays my bills. You kind of take what you can get in that department. Especially now with the.
How dare you exist in capitalism, you bastard?
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
Society existeth withineth.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yes. Doing that, still teaching,
Nice.
And then I've been doing some work, doing some short doc work that requires me to go places, film, do edits, without giving up too much information. I'm doing some work for a news organization that I'm hoping will expand into something that's more consistent.
Nice.
And the idea is that this is a more traditional journalistic print news organization that is trying to sort of make the leap to social media.
Okay.
Obviously, it feels very late. They do have a presence on social media and quite a number of followers and stuff on their social media, but they don't create content that's intended for social media. So that's sort of where I'm coming in. It's sort of kind of like the now this approach to their biggest headlines, where it's it's footage, it's a short 2.5 minute video,
snappy, lots of editing. It's very much it's punchy.
Yeah, it'll concisely tell a story without making or requiring the audience to go to an external link to read an article, because articles and traditional journalism is just not how people intake news anymore.
Yeah, so, people are absorbing information at faster rates, and we kind of have to do something to I guess adapt to that. You know what I mean? And change with the fact with also with technology. It's kind of, I don't know. I feel like I get more out of an informative 1 to 3 minute video. You know what I mean? That's packed full of good shit. Something like a Now This, where it's here's the situation. Here's some things that have happened. Blah 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 blah. Here are some people that are involved, and it's bing bang boo bop. I know what the fuck is up. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge reader, but and so I absorb a lot of things through listening and watching stuff. So um, the more accept things that are accessible in that way, I think that's fucking great. That's a great direction to go.
Yeah,
They should also start acting a lot like Teen Vogue. Teen Vogue's full radicalized. I love it.
base team vote. Yeah, no, I
Seriously, base Teen Vogue.
yeah.
It's
It's like that TikTok creator Marcus DePaula. I mean, he's problematic kind of in his own right,
yeah,
which many people are. But I enjoyed the way that he sort of cultivated his content, which was here's major headlines in a way that is written for people with like the reading level of like third graders,
yeah,
and
and
that's kind of
that's
how it has to be taken in now. So now this did a really good job. It's also one thing is like traditional journalism is like hard to read. Like you have
yeah.
to be good at reading to really understand that shit because it's written. It's almost like legal talk. It's like very. It's like English, but then you're just like it's like wrapped in a way that it's just kind of a little bit sort of convoluted for people that
Mm,
might not you know smart is not the word I want to use, but just have the best sort of understanding of that kind of writing language. So I
I could
think
see
that
that.
I think that now this did a good job. HuffPost makes content like that as well.
Yeah,
BuzzFeed has kind of always done that. I think the New York Times even has their own sort of division of like social media content that's in like video format, and it's all ranging from like 3 minutes to 5 minutes. You know,
hmm.
and it's the snappiest news stories, kind of like what we know now and all those things. So
Yeah. Quick, fast updates.
yeah. So
Here's all. Here's all the information.
I'm not gonna name the news org yet because I don't know how serious it is, and I don't like work for them, but I am working on things in regards to that,
Hmm.
and hoping it turns into something that's a little more full time ish. You know,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
so.
But so until it's like all like official and whatnot, we'll keep it on the down low,
Yeah, yeah.
essentially.
I got the work like I mean through my dad because he writes for them, but it's like
Hmm.
um, what do you call it? I'm sort of working, not working with, but sending stuff off to like the actual like head editor for their online division. They have like an online division and then like a traditional print division. So,
Hmm.
and she's really sort of receptive of a young person's ideas because it is a bit of a magazine that's sort of aimed at older readers.
Yeah. But they're
Yeah,
trying to branch out, and you're the young people's liaison, the youth outreach. How
I'm
do you
not
do,
even
fellow kids?
I'm not even that young. Like
Right.
um, I don't understand the TikToks and the and the
I don't understand what the Trilla is. What is that? Snapchat's a whole new thing. I don't understand it. Apparently, Snapchat has news on it, and Snapchat influencers.
yeah.
This
Fuck if I
is
know.
who the world. The world is a fuck.
I use
That's
Snapchat for one thing, and I have one group chat on Snapchat, and that's it. Um, but yeah, no. The I mean, news orgs really should be making the switch to social media anyway, because like, how else would we learn so fast and in real time about so many things? Like very specifically, like all the shootings that have happened to this past like week and there were some things that like we didn't like. Adam Toledo is from a couple months ago, but
mm,
the body cam footage got released, and we got access to that body cam footage. I won't endorse anyone to watch it because it's hard to watch, obviously,
yeah,
but we got access to that body cam footage within hours from news organizations that have a presence on social media, and
yeah,
like shit, if we were still based in traditional print media, who knows if we had ever would have watched that, you know?
yeah. No, the a lot of these issues are coming to light, like because of social media. I don't remember who said it, but it's like none of these problems are new; they're just getting filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's yeah, no, it's gotta, like, the pace kind of has to move a lot faster because the speed of misinformation is like the Flash versus Hussein Bolt. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, it's insane how fast and quickly that stuff spreads, and it's very interesting because you have to think about the agenda of someone who's just like, I can't let there be any sort of legitimate criticism of white supremacy, so I have to change this. I have to fix this. I have to, you
I have to
know,
deflect. I have to fucking come up with a lie. Oh, there were drugs in his system. Oh, he
yeah,
wasn't an angel. Oh, he had a gun in his hand. Like, what the actual fuck?
yeah.
Like,
Like in regards to Adam Toledo, right? We're talking about a 13-year-old kid who was shot and killed by Chicago police, right?
yes,
Notwithstanding what he was doing, who cares? Out at 3 a.m. But
not a death
I
sentence.
no, and I stupidly got
Not
into
even a
a
crime.
debate with
Yeah,
someone on Facebook, and I was like, look, at the end of the day, what we're looking at is a 13-year-old kid who was shot with his hands up, unarmed, right?
right.
And so the person commented, "Show me his hands up." So I sent her the screenshot of him going
Yep.
like this, right? And
Right.
she's like, his hand. And her criticism was, "Oh, his hands are only here; they're not all the way up." And I'm like,
So he deserves to get shot.
"Yeah, no, it's."
That
And
is
then I was like, "Dude, his hands are up and he's unarmed." She's like, "He wasn't unarmed; he had a gun before." And I'm like, "Yeah, not in his hands while they're up." like like what level of just like it's mind-boggling to me, this, I guess, the level of justification people will reach, like, oh well, Dante Wright was resisting, he was attempting to flee,
right.
so let him go, dude. You have his information, you already have a warrant,
Yep.
like,
You already kind of know where he lives. Like,
yeah. And that's actually a thing that I learned when f me, but I did work with, when I was in Savannah. I did work with the Savannah Police Department, right?
right.
And I learned things about them, like their processes and policies. And for the most part, police procedure is not to arrest people while they're out, but to arrest them at their residency because they don't have anywhere to go.
Wow.
But, like, if you try to arrest someone like that, look at what happened. He tried to get in his car and go off. You do that, he can go somewhere that isn't home.
Right.
But if he's at his house, what's he going to do?
Where's he gonna go?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, like, summons are supposed to be served in a person, but we
Right.
have this whole COVID thing going
Yeah.
on. So we had this
Right.
scenario where this court summons for him for traffic court, by the way, right, was sent to the wrong address.
Okay.
So he missed his court summons. And that's the warrant for his arrest because he fucking missed his court date.
This is he missed a court date.
He missed a court date.
He missed a court date.
He missed a court date. Yeah, yeah. Now, so he did have another crime on the ledger, which is why I'm assuming he tried to flee for,
Right.
which was possessing it was concealed carrying a firearm he did not have a concealed carry license for.
Okay.
Yeah, which is like, okay, so, like, you have to get the permit and you get a fine. It could be a pretty hefty fine.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. It just kind of sounds like he got shot over like $500.
Pretty much. And here's the other thing that a lot of people are ignoring about the Dante Wright case.
Dude, you know what's crazy? What's crazy is there are so many people that, like, the main things that I knew about the Dante Wright situation is this is the taser situation. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the main thing that is the investigating, the woman with the offending taser, right? And just every reasonable sort of angle as to why that should not have happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And throughout that, because I've been arguing arguing and also learning from this particular angle, because that's sort of like interesting to me. The negligence is quite possibly one of the the craziest parts of this thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very purposeful that she said taser so she could shoot him and then be like, "Oh, I meant to use my taser." But anyway, but whilst I'm having conversations with people on social media about this particular situation, they're like, "Oh, he was robbing somebody at gunpoint. Of course he got shot." And I was like, "Was he robbing someone at gunpoint?"
No.
Did he have a weapon? And then there was someone
No.
else being like, "Oh yeah, he like beat somebody up," and I'm like, "What? He did what now?"
He had court or an issue from I think like a year or so prior, or 2 years prior, where he had actually robbed somebody. But that was already done and settled with. That's not what this was over. He
Right. I
got pulled
mean,
over because
it,
he had air fresheners hanging from his rear view,
right.
right? So which would be a traffic citation because it's blocking your viewing.
Okay.
It could be a safety hazard.
Safety hazard. I didn't realize that.
Pulling up um, his driver's license, they found that he had a warrant for his
Right.
arrest because he missed this traffic court summons, and
Right. Right.
then they tried to arrest him on the spot, and he attempted to flee. Right.
Gotcha.
And so two things that are being a kind of not the addressed things that we should be talking about in regards to the case. The first one is in the body cam footage, right? We're talking about, oh, she made a mistake. A veteran on the force, we can have how many conversations about whether or not she should have made that mistake. She had 26 years. She was a field trainer. Her husband was an armorer. She should have known. The entire idea behind police is that you go off muscle memory and your lethal is always on your dominant hand, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's why she had gun on right, taser on left. Okay.
Yeah.
Ignoring, all of that is the fact that in the video she has a citation in her hand, in her right hand, right?
Right.
With her hand on the door like this for the car as he's getting in to go away. She transfers the paper to her left hand specifically to use her right to draw her firearm. It's all muscle memory. She knew that she was drawing her firearm with her right. That's like a very specific maneuver. Now you can say like, oh, like subconscious, whatever, but there's, or not knowing the difference in the moment, whatever. But it's like, that's a very specific movement.
Right.
You're taking this paper out of one hand to the other when this hand could have reached for your taser. Now we talk about the differences between guns and tasers, two very specific, weights.
Right.
Taser has to be armed to fire.
Yep, they gotta like click it, turn it on. There's a whole situation. The lights gotta shine. I saw a couple cops on TikTok being like, "This is how you use a taser. This is how you know it's gonna be a taser." Because there's like two little lasers that also pop out right before it's fired.
Yeah, because it fires two pins. That's the whole point behind a taser. And it's important to debunk misinformation on both sides so we can have the most productive conversation about this with all the facts in front of us. Right. So one argument that I hear a lot from, obviously our side of this is she would have had to undo the safety on her gun. So with someone who knows about guns, the standard issue firearm for police is a Glock 17 or a Glock 19. Glocks do not have traditional switch safeties. They have trigger safeties, which basically means the trigger is substantially harder to pull.
Right. Okay. So it's basically like if you really got to pull that bitch if you want to fire.
Yes.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, you have to be very intently. You have to have the intent to pull a firearm trigger to actually as someone who has shot guns, it's not just a quick like, let me just hold up an Xbox. It's not like a quick oops,
Right.
Like there is so much resistance that you would know that you're firing a gun.
Right.
And then the other thing I want to talk about just real quick is the fact that in most police departments, the procedure is you don't use a taser on the driver of a vehicle anyway. Like a taser is unnecessary in this situation because one, it's not a non-lethal, it's a less lethal.
Okay.
Right? Tasers can still kill.
Yep, absolutely.
And two, it incapacitates the driver. So it turns the vehicle into a weapon. So we're talking about liability issues here and responsibility. She not only shot him, but she killed him. His car took off. It crashed into another car and then into a cement barrier. And his passenger, which was his girlfriend, received a head injury from slamming her head on the dashboard.
What
when
the
it crashed. So this is all stuff that, it's like you think about the heat of the moment. these are trained people that are supposed to understand these things. You don't use a taser on the driver of a vehicle.
Right.
And that's just, that's something, again, not the common person would know, but these are all things that are drilled into you when
Right.
you're
And
in
these are
law
things,
enforcement.
yeah, as a police officer, you should know these things. And it's very strange to think about, like, to think about the situation as you're explaining this, because you're like, oh, this is, she does the whole paper switch thing, and she's got her unconscious training telling her to, like, shoot this guy, like something. I don't know how, but it seems like there's, say for argument's sake,
Right.
it was a mistake, right? Something subconsciously in her brain told her to grab her lethal and shoot that guy. Something in her training made her switch hands with that ticket you were talking about, grab her lethal and shoot something unconscious. That's fucked. That
Yeah.
is
No, I've been
like,
saying it to everybody. It's like, whichever way you slice it, it's fucking bad. Because either she yells taser, taser, taser as a front to purposefully murder this person, right?
mm-hmm.
Or she made a mistake in a high pressure situation, which means that she is not a person that you should be allowed in high pressure situations. She was unfit for the job,
Yeah.
and she was unfit for a job that she held for 26 years. She's
Yeah.
been on that job 6 years longer than Dante Wright had been alive.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's it kind mm,
and everyone's like, you try and make a decision in a split second." I'm like, I'm not a fucking cop, and
yeah,
I don't
dude.
have a gun.
I didn't sign up to deal with criminals. That seems like what should be your expertise. I feel like every single goddamn cop movie has shown me even the most absolutely batshit guy like fucking Riggs can in the moment fucking shoot some fucking terrorist in the head right before he blows up the
Mhm.
city. You know what I mean? Like, they're all about snap decisions and like being in high stakes situations. And they're always
Yeah,
talking about
yeah. I mean, we can provide the benefit of the doubt about a mistake, but it's
right.
like, I mean, there's all this overwhelming evidence from other people who are in law enforcement who are just like, yeah, you really don't make that mistake. Like, the reason we go through training is because it's muscle memory. It's down to our subconscious that we would not draw our firearm in that situation. It's based on where they're located,
Right.
And in times where someone actually meant to tase someone and ended up shooting, there was another situation that happened in Pennsylvania, in central PA, where a cop thought it was his taser, but he pulled his gun. Was when he had a utility belt violation,
Mm.
because you're supposed to have your taser on your non-dominant and your firearm on your dominant, and he had both of them on his dominant.
Mm.
And that was,
He set himself up for failure. He literally was like, he just fucked up. And he was like,
yeah,
yo, and he denied, you know, actual regulation, and then
yeah.
made the mistake that the regulation was for.
And his captain was just like, yeah, no, he had a violation of where his stuff was placed, and he's not on a force anymore. So that
Mm.
situation was dealt with accordingly. You
Hmm.
know,
I mean, is that guy in jail?
I don't know exactly. I just know about
Probably
the
not.
case. Probably
He's
not.
probably
But
just shuffled around.
I don't believe he's like on any police force, because I remember reading about it recently in relation to this.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, all we're doing right now is we're splitting hairs between a manslaughter charge or a second degree manslaughter charge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference, you know. And it seems like she's being charged with second degree manslaughter. So
Should be murder, but you know.
yeah, I mean, I would love that as much as the next person, but the problem with convicting for murder is that murder the charge for murder is premeditated, and
Ah.
there's no way that they would ever convict on that. So murder is premeditated. Uh, Second degree, I believe, is accessory to premeditated. Like, you
Mm.
helped, but you
Right.
didn't actually do it. And then for manslaughter is killing in the moment, but it wasn't premeditated, but it
Right.
was purposeful.
Mm.
And then second degree manslaughter is like killing in the moment, but like accidental. like you kill with the intent to kill, you know, but it's
Right.
like the situations that led up to you intending to kill are accidental, circumstantial. That's what a second degree manslaughter charge is, which is, one thing is even if you don't think the charge is fitting for the person, unfortunately, sometimes you have to apply certain charges like that don't feel as fitting, based solely on their likelihood of actually convicting on that charge. So
Mm.
if you actually felt like Kim Potter deserved, let's say, a second degree murder charge, right?
Mm.
But you don't think the evidence would back that enough for a jury to convict on second
Yeah.
degree murder, then you knock it down to a second degree manslaughter instead, with the higher hopes of it actually achieving something in court.
Mm.
So it's kind of an unfortunate situation that we
It's the
play because it provides a wrong a misattribution of justice, but it's making sure we get anything at all out of it,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
unfortunate, but it's the reality. And my belief is instead of trying to convict her for murder or something like that, which I think she deserves at least regular manslaughter.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I would
I don't
prefer
think
that
oopsie doopsie
she, yeah,
kill is like,
oopsie doopsie pew pew. Yeah, I
oopsie.
would prefer that she gets convicted on second degree and actually serves something as opposed to getting charged with regular manslaughter and then getting off. So
Mm.
it's a double edged sword, honestly. You
Right,
know,
right. At least she'll go away for a time.
a time. I mean, let me look it up and make sure I'm right because I don't actually want to be wrong to people listening.
Mm.
Um, second second degree manslaughter. Second degree manslaughter is when someone creates an unreasonable risk and consciously takes chances of causing death or great bodily harm to another. So it's like she could have done things to prevent
Mm.
it leading up to that. She wasn't in a backed up against the wall situation.
Right.
And she provided escalation on her own. It wasn't premeditated, and I don't think he would be able to um, even get close to convicting on that because it's a circumstantial meeting, right?
Yeah.
There's a chance that they never would have pulled him over, but regular manslaughter is the crime of killing a human being without malice or forethought or otherwise in circumstances not amounting to murder.
Hmm. I
So,
mean, I don't know. Feels like there's malice there.
yeah.
Actually, no.
Well, malice in theirs is like ahead of time being like, I'm going to kill that person and then planning to kill that person.
Right.
You know?
Or maybe, true, true. Murder's got to be like, yeah, get into a bar fight, brah, and then
Yeah.
fall him down and chuck you down a river.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
it's all kind of circumstantial anyway, but yeah, I think second degree manslaughter is the best chance at convicting her with anything.
Right. Uh, it just kind of feels like we're past the point of no reform with the structures of the police because they just keep getting worse. Like,
Yeah.
didn't you say? Or wait, no, they weren't police shootings. I think they were just mass shootings, which is so
Right.
much better. But in the last 8 hours, how many shootings did you say just happened?
Two mass shootings in the past, I believe, 6 hours, and
Jesus Christ.
that's on top of 171 mass shootings since 2021 began.
100 and how many?
100 and did I say 21? Damn it! I just lost the number in my head. I think 171.
171.
Yeah,
171. We
171.
171. So we are in April, the fourth month. In 2 days it'll be 420 for all the stoners.
420 graze it for all my cows.
Exactly. But let's just think about that. We're in the fourth month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are 31 days and 28 in February. It gives us 59. And then it's like 90 days April. We've had 118 days of this year.
Allegedly, it's been 107 days.
107 days?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm not very good at math.
That's why I googled it, because I'm not good at math either.
Yeah, I know, but I thought I could do this math.
I understand that you're
addition.
trying to impress our viewers, but
I know. I wanted to show them that I could do addition.
I could do addition, and then I can do a subtraction,
I also know my fractions.
and then I can count to 100.
Ooh.
Ooh. Here's if you want another sort of fucking indictment of fucking police in this this awesome police state we live in, you know, is so the FedEx shooting that I believe killed 8 people in Indianapolis. The gunman bought 2 rifles after police seized his shotgun because he had a history of violent mental illness. They seized his shotgun, and then he was able to, thanks to the wonderful gun laws in Indiana, to just go out and buy 2 rifles after that happens, which he then used to kill 8 people.
What the fuck?
I want to make sure I get that number right. Also, I also know that he specifically targeted like Sikh people.
What?
Yeah, like a bunch of most of the people who died in the FedEx warehouse were Sikh.
That's really fucked. That's super fucked. The Sikhs are like that whole religion, from what I understand, and like actually I have a follower who is a Sikh and talks about Sikhism.
8 people. Yeah, I was right. It was 8 people.
Wow. But
Dude,
like it's a very
there's
it's
a chance I'm wrong because there's so many fucking mass shootings for me to pay attention to. Like,
right.
Was it 8 people here? Was it 9 people there? Like,
what the fuck?
There's an active shooter situation in Austin. So like,
right now?
Yeah, like right now.
Get armed.
Yeah. I mean, I can't because of my parents, but
I was just
because
saying.
Oh yeah.
Our audience.
No, but I mean, like, I would, like, and also because I like guns. But I have an agreement with Trish, and also I live in my parents' house, so yeah.
Hey man, store at my house.
Yeah, but yeah, no, and this is all leading back to how we've been dealing with the Derek Chauvin trial for like the past 2 weeks, which is like the defense on that has been insane.
Oh God, I don't even want to know what the defense is because like all I know is they're like what's happening so far. I haven't been paying attention.
So I believe actually closing statements are tomorrow. Closing arguments. Let me go here. The other causes theory is one that they pushed. They tried to say that obviously it was the fentanyl and stuff in George Floyd's system that killed him. It wasn't the knee, but then basically the 2 autopsies, one by the coroner and one independent the Hennepin County coroner, and then the other autopsy by the independent one that the Floyd family paid for. Both came to the conclusion that it was homicide, and that he died from lung, neck trauma, and asphyxia.
Yeah, from having a knee on his fucking neck.
Yeah, and one of the parts of the trial that basically the defense fucked up their own argument was they broke down how much fentanyl was in his system,
right?
And it was 3 nanograms per milliliter of blood, which a toxicologist said on the stand, no, that is not enough to kill. Like, we would not consider that an overdose for someone like Floyd, of his stature and his history. That he never would have OD'd, and he exhibited none of the effects of someone who OD'd or is ODing. Which is sleep, comatose-like state, no resistance, would not speak, eyes would be glazed over. He was pretty resistant up until basically dying. He was
Yeah.
speaking like you're not able to speak and stuff like that when you're
Yeah. There was literally like not. They're basically like, dude, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. This whole fentanyl argument, it makes absolutely no sense, dude. He had that much in there. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
they
You
tried
know?
to argue that Chauvin was just doing what he was trained to do, and then his police chief and police trainer basically said, "Yeah, we don't teach anyone to do that shit."
No,
Like,
they're
like,
just
like
like, dude, don't throw me under the bus. I didn't. I
Chauvin's fucking police chief testified against him. Like, that's
that's
standing. There's no.
that's that's
And sure,
where
yeah, it
you
might be
fucked
to
up
save
because like
face,
right,
but
it absolutely would be, but at the same time, it's like this dude fucked up so bad that other cops are being like, nah, fuck this guy.
yeah,
Like that's
the
we've talked about this before. Like cops are notorious for running up to bat for dickheads, that are brutalizing suspects,
yeah,
and chief is up there on the stand being like, no, fuck this dude.
yeah.
Like, yeah, nah.
Blue
The
blue wall of silence was kind of crumbling right there,
I hope it crumbles even more.
even more.
Like I hope every blue line, blue wall, blue shoe, blue fish, I don't give a shit. All of it crumbles. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
They're uh, like what is it?
it's
Six out of the last 7 days. Um, there's been some sort of police violence, police shooting thing.
yeah, pretty much, and also because there's protests and stuff happening in Minneapolis, it's like a fucking military police state there
It
right now.
literally is. There's so one of my mutual followers on TikTok is this user, your favorite white boy 69 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite white boy something, but they've been on the ground at the protests. They've been getting like tear gassed, fucking like corralled, fucking all types of crazy shit is happening down there right now.
Yeah, yeah,
And who's
it's
talking
just
about it? I don't know. I I'm watching.
and there's reason for it. I mean, we have the Chauvin trial, we have Dante Wright, Adam Toledo, you know,
I mean, even what is it? Minneapolis, is that Minnesota?
yes,
There, I'm pretty sure in the last like 10 years or so, several of the last most recent like police involved killings came out of Minnesota. Like specifically, like the Midwest is really fucked for that
yeah.
shit. Um,
Yeah, and they're using tear gas again, which we don't have to remind anyone, but it is banned by the Geneva Convention. It's considered a fucking, you know, um,
War crime.
yeah,
Yep. You got oh man, dude, America is like the US is fucked, man. Like I'm trying actually to find an article that made the because I hate that this is you know we called ourselves the Don't Panic Podcast, but I really feel like today's episode is the Panic Podcast.
yeah.
Fuck. Oh!
Oh
What?
yeah, another reminder is the shooting of Philando Castile happened in Minnesota as well.
Yep.
Yeah, but um, another thing that I want to talk about while we were on this was Biden's infrastructure bill.
But I don't want to know. I hate Joe Biden.
Um, um, I'm just like I'm trying to, I guess, what's the best one? See the forest for the trees, maybe? Is that the best description? It's like, look,
What's
I
what?
mean, I'm not a fan of Biden. He's done a lot of things I'm not enjoying,
All right,
but there
let's.
there are some, I guess you would call it like things I'm glad are happening.
Uh,
Like, like the first one was the American Rescue Plan.
okay.
Um, that and one reason is it helped me, very specifically,
Uh,
um, because I got $1,400 because I don't make more than $150,000 a year. Um,
Good for you. I'm
and
still waiting on my Biden bucks.
are you?
Yeah, I figured that.
Have you looked at the Get My Payment tool from the
I could
IRS?
check again.
You should just make sure it's not going to an old address, because it would be a physical check probably
Oof.
if it's taken this long.
Oof. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
good
I
to
mean,
know.
it's not like anyone else can cash it in your name,
Right. Right.
but
It would just be annoying.
yeah,
Be a whole thing.
yeah. So that helped because it allowed me to pay off my collections, and then would subsequently doing that raises my credit because my credit's been like meh. And allows me to do a number of other things like get a new computer to finance because I really need a new laptop. Like my old fucking MacBook is not cutting it anymore. It's from 2011,
Mm.
and
So
it only
that's
lasted about 30 minutes fully charged without the charger in. And it,
nice.
if it's cold dead like it is now, and I plug it in and turn it on, it'll take about 30 minutes before I'm ready to do anything on it. You
Mm.
know, and now that in the fall school is going back in person and I'll be teaching in person, I won't be able to have as much freedom out here.
Yeah.
Well, not out here, sorry, remotely to use my desktop. So I'm going to need something I can use. So there's that. It allowed me to refinance my car. There's a lot of things. And then for Trish, she got 2,800 because of Norma, and
Right.
allowed her to pay off her two biggest credit cards that I was basically shoveling like $200 a month into every month and
Yep.
making no impact because of the finance charge and the,
All the shit.
yeah. So
But
it paid
hey,
those
look at
off and
that.
saving us 200 a month, which basically is now replaced by the cost of our health insurance plan. So now, health insurance is important.
Mm.
So
It's that's kind of a good one.
yeah,
They
and
do.
yeah, and the American Rescue Plan had some other good things also, like the extended stay on like um what is it student loans. I'm not
Good.
paying my student loans back right now. You know,
What about like eliminating the student loans? What about healthcare?
yeah.
Where's
So
the goddamn infrastructure? Are they going to fix our roads? The potholes are
well, that's
garbage.
the infrastructure bill, but which is funny because Fox News is like, Biden wants to spend $2 trillion on roads and bridges.
Dude,
Like,
two
yeah, bro.
trillion? Two
Yeah,
trillion?
two
Man,
trillion.
make it four, bro. The fuck? 4 trillion. I need my roads,
Um,
bridges. I need subways. I'm really interested in becoming what is it? A numtot. Although I'm not a teen, but uh,
a teen vogue.
no, but I just want to be. I've been following these like public transit oriented memes,
Yeah.
and it's just great shit. But like, there's money going into Elon Musk's. I don't know. I don't know if the U.S. government's putting any money, but I'm just
Fucking
saying,
Elon.
in
Yeah.
general, there's money going into Elon Musk's fucking death pipe, celebrity underground tunnel thing. It has no. You can't.
You talking about
It's.
Hyperloop?
I think it's the Hyperloop. He showed a thing, and it's literally just like one solid little like tuna can dispenser. There's no way you can get out. There's no way you can go to the right or like swerve around. So if you get stuck in the middle of that shit, you're just stuck there. You are in a sardine can. Like just
Yeah.
like it's great. I hope everyone gets stuck down there. And
All
it's
the rich
awesome.
people. Yeah, but so in regards to forgiving student loans, there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about that. My father, who is pretty tuned in to all
Yeah.
that stuff, is confident
Yes.
that the Biden admin will forgive up to $10,000 of student loan debt.
Yeah, but that's so like it's
Yeah,
like nothing, man. It's bullshit. Like
yeah,
I don't know if that's austerity, but it's definitely just fucking horse shit. Because like who like all right, I think I have $10,000 worth of student loans. like then maybe 11, and it's not a lot. It's really not a lot. It
In
hasn't.
comparison to some people, yeah,
In
that's not a lot.
comparison to most people, it's not. And like, I've definitely joked at family parties where I'm like, just doing the millennial thing, drowning in student loans. But like, I've literally never been like swamped with student loans.
I mean,
They're pretty feasible for me, you know.
rollout wise, I feel like what they could do is they could forgive up to 10,000 per individual every year. That's what they could do.
That would be great, but that's not what they're fucking doing, and that's
No, I
what
know, but I'm saying like
like. Oh yeah, that's great.
part of the argument is like prohibitive cost and yeah. Just do it every year then. You
Yeah,
know,
like
fucking
yearly, just like, hey man, here's $10,000 off.
yeah. And then for
Woogity
the rest of
woogity,
it, if you got to
pound it.
pay it or you got to do whatever, it should be an affordable payment based on your income. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but that's just
I mean, that's.
ideas. It's just ideas. I'm just spitballing.
Oh yeah,
But
no. I
I
mean,
mean, the rescue plan did some stuff. I mean, like we got the 1400 or whatever. Um,
mhm. It's not.
it was
It's
like
not the 2000. That's not what he
no,
promised. Like I
Kanye plays for yeah, whatever. Uh,
and
yeah,
the
I wanted
600 was from Trump. So what the fuck?
yeah. What the fuck, dude? I didn't even get the 600.
No,
So
me neither.
um, the fucking 14. I think 14 billion was the figure. That was for vaccine distribution. So
Yeah,
that's why we're seeing so much distribution and all these like accelerated phases because they have a lot of money to you know
yeah. I mean, that
which
shit's.
COVID is takes precedent in my opinion. Like right now, you know,
Yeah,
I mean I'm scheduled to be vaccinated this Thursday. So
I believe I'm getting vaccinated on Monday. What vaccine you getting?
Pfizer.
Pfizer,
Oh, you're
boys.
gonna be Pfizer fam.
Pfizer fam.
Pfizer fam.
You already
Pfizer
know.
fam.
Listen,
Moderna mob.
you know,
Janssen
actually,
jabronis.
yeah. No, dude.
AstraZeneca zaddies.
At, no, it's AstraZeneca. Fuck
Okay.
AstraZeneca. No. It's actually, fuck AstraZeneca for real though, because that's like, um, Bill Clinton is connected to that shit, and so a bunch of money went into research for that, and I can't remember all of the specifics, but there is a Somewhere News episode, and it's kind of like the sort of beginning story of the whole thing. But
Hmm.
basically, Mister Bill and his lovely, what is it, Belinda, what's his, Bill and Linda Gates.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
What's his wife's name? I don't want to get her name wrong. I don't want to be that much
I
of an
don't
asshole.
know.
Is it okay? But the Gateses Foundation,
Sure.
the Gates Family Foundation. That's not what it's called. Fucking. So they pressured this one university because they had a lot of pull to sign their what was initially supposed to be intended as an open source version of the vaccine. That Bill Gates was like, yeah, man, it's going to be open source. Everybody's going to get it. No patent. It's going to be fine. And then they're like, hey, research university, we put a lot of money in your shit, and we have money in AstraZeneca, so you're going to give your formula to AstraZeneca. And yeah,
Okay.
so fuck Bill Gates, fuck AstraZeneca.
I
And
mean,
what
AstraZeneca is not even available in the U.S. Like,
Yeah, but it's just like they're profiting off of that particular version. Um,
gotcha.
and it was initially like its initial intent. The formula was supposed to be something that was going to help a lot of people, but because
Oh,
they could make a dollar, they
that's not the first open source thing that Bill Gates has stolen, privatized, and made money off of.
well, it's almost like he has a pattern.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
So there was that. There was a whole bunch to small businesses to like help, whatever, and then something for like school safety, like PPO and all that. I don't think schools should be open in the first place, but if they're gonna do it, you might as well give them as much PPO as possible. So
I still think that people should deal with their kids, and everyone should be staying home while we vaccinate everyone.
I mean, I agree, but if we're not getting paid to do that, there's a big issue with fucking like
Oh yeah.
childcare.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. Oh no. I agree. I think that in Minecraft, we should all go outside with torches and pitchforks and demand that they pay us to stay the fuck home. Because if we're not going to stay home in Minecraft, we're going to burn things down.
With TNT in Minecraft. Yeah. So well, then there's the infrastructure bill. I'll read a description here. President Biden introduced a $2 trillion plan on Wednesday to overhaul and upgrade the nation's infrastructure, calling it a transformational effect that could create the most resilient, innovative economy in the world. Let's see. The White House officials said the proposal's combination of spending and tax credits would translate into 20,000 miles of rebuilt roads, repairs to the 10 most economically important bridges in the country, the elimination of lead pipes from the nation's water supplies, and a long list of other projects intended to create millions of jobs in the short run and strengthen American competitiveness in the long run. The plan would also accelerate the fight against climate change by hastening the shift to new, cleaner energy sources and would promote racial equality in the economy. The provisions would improve wages, internet service, drinking water, and commute times.
Gotcha. So how would it improve wages exactly?
I'm going to assume because of supposed worker availability, productivity leading to more hours and more worker demand. That's my guess.
That sounds...
if we're talking about cheaper energy, better transportation, stuff like that. Internet service would mean more people who without internet service can now apply for jobs and do things, get schooling, skills, etc.
Yep. Build businesses on the internet.
Yeah. Sell someone PB carry in a bag for $15.
Yeah, exactly. Sell my used panties to Japanese businessmen.
Oh, you know how fucking funny like male marketing and shit is or whatever. If they made panties for men, I'm sure they would call them manties or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh,
masculinities.
Masculinities.
And I'm surprised. They're protein teas. Oh shit, let's do that.
Wait, hold on.
Protein teas that are chilled that come in like steel bottles and shit called masculinities.
Okay.
And they can be called things like Iron Rush and stuff like that.
Okay, I like it.
Savage.
Have you heard of the bro day?
It's a bidet, but for dudes.
It's a dude bidet. Gay. It's not a gay bidet. It's a bro day.
It's not gay because what happens is it plays the Pornhub theme song when it cleans your asshole. So here's the last piece about the infrastructure bill here is the cost would be offset by increased corporate tax revenues raised over 15 years, particularly from multinationals that earn and book profits overseas. The president cast those increases as a means to prod companies into investing and producing more in the United States. And here's the thing. Conservatives are always like, oh, you're just going to drive them away. They're just going to go somewhere where the taxes aren't higher. We've increased corporate taxes in the past, and they've never left. Because there's you have to think about the cost difference between increased taxes and then doing all the work overseas and still having to manage a market in the U.S. and then import all of everything.
Okay.
Companies will seek help overseas for certain things.
Yeah.
Like your manufacturing here, your customer service there.
Yes.
But there are reasons why certain companies are still based in the U.S. So, and then of course they would be subject to import taxes and tariffs as well, which could cost more money in the long run than just dealing with the regular fucking corporate tax hikes. So,
yeah, it wouldn't make sense. They'd be accruing a whole bunch of other costs by leaving. Like it doesn't make it's goofy shit. Yeah. Why would you say that, you fool? So wait, explain to me these Biden taxes one more time. You said over 15 years. I feel like that's not fast enough for the amount of spending that we need to do and money that I want to say I don't know if it's a 2020 figure, but I know that there's like a 2018 or 2019 figure where companies like Blizzard, Amazon, and a couple of other like really huge corporations paid negative taxes. Yeah, and it's just like dude, we're basically paying their taxes for them at that point, the way that it's structured in that way. And it's like 15 years, how much money are you taking? That better be a lot.
I mean, I think I wouldn't be able to make a judgment in that regard until I knew what the increase was and what the tax revenue would be every year from said increase. But I think a long-term plan still makes sense because if you can consider it like a lock-in, it's now locking in corporations to this increased tax hike for, a decade and a half instead of just like it's over and then it's changed.
Right.
The same idea as a tax code. Trump imposed his tax code in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019. But it's a 4-year tax plan, so we're going to be dealing with it through 2021.
Right.
And then Biden's tax plan will then, because it's like 4 years, but it's differentiating from the presidential years. So, and that's why fucking all of our taxes are going up right now anyway, because for middle income earners, Trump's tax plan gave us a break, but now there's a dramatic shift.
Yep.
Because we're in the third year of his tax plan, so we're actually paying more in taxes than we did prior to his presidency. So.
Woohoo! That's so good. Thanks, Trump.
Yeah,
we love it.
Yeah, he's having a grand old time in his fucking office of the former president in Mar-a-Lago, where he signs fake executive orders. So
that's cute.
Yeah.
It's so a lot of things are coming out saying that Trump supporters, Trump donors, if you will, donators. That's not a word. Donors, if you will, are suing or seeing that more than their initial donation has been going to the Trump campaign, even after their first donation.
Yeah, and there was another thing with donating to the Republican Party.
Yep.
Where there was a big warning that was you're contributing to socialism if you don't make this a recurring donation. Instead of just because doing a one-time donation, they're like, by the way, that's communism if you only pay us once.
It's communism if you only pay us once.
Supporting communism.
Hey, everyone, collectively pay for our shared goals so that we may create a party that oh man, they're just like, let's not. Oh my god, they're like, let's do a communism, but not do communism.
But not do communism. Yeah. Communism is when the government does stuff. But
anyway, so wait, one thing that I want to bring up. Have you heard anything about Biden and his overflow facilities?
Yeah.
What's the news there? Where's are we shutting those things down because they look? I don't know. I'm not gonna say concentration camps, but they definitely remind me of when I was in high school. I went to this place called the Center for Global Studies in Connecticut. We learned some world history, and one thing that we learned about was the Japanese internment camps. And this is when, during, I believe, World War II, where we rounded up a bunch of Japanese people, put them in cages, and we're just like, naughty, naughty Japanese. It was not a good time for them. And I'm speaking about it very lightly, but it was a terrible, terrible atrocity that we committed against these people. And all I'm saying is this is eerily similar. And the nice language, the fluffy, they're overflow facilities, kind of bugs me because I don't know. Do you know how much money Biden has taken away from or put into ICE?
No.
No? Can we look that up? Jesse, can we get a clip?
Oh man, all right. So, according to Fox News,
oh Jesus Christ!
Biden hasn't done anything with ICE's budget yet.
Okay.
Some people, like left-wing Dems, are calling for ICE to be abolished, and then there are other people are pushing him to push the budget and ensure the budget during the border crisis. He hasn't done anything budget-wise yet.
Right, but what border crisis? There isn't a border crisis. There never has been a border crisis.
Yeah, well, sorry. In their words, a border crisis.
Gotcha. Fucking. Well, I'm just reminding our listeners. Um, there is no border crisis. Anyone talking about a crisis at the border, they're just trying to get you to be scared of brown people coming from South America.
Yeah, the only thing that I know of right now is that there's been statistically way less arrests and deportations by ICE during because part of his new rules for ICE engagement and stuff with
Hold on. Is that accurate? Hold on, wait.
But yeah, I don't know. As far as the overflow facility goes, it doesn't look great. I mean, there was that criticism from the right that he was, housing illegal immigrants in hotels or whatever during, whatever. Which I'm thinking that's fine if you want to get them a Motel 6, that's fine. I think what I would like to see is, well, one, I want this overflow facility to be open to press, right? Which the ICE concentration camps were not. And then two, what I want to see is I want to see a specific plan in place in steps they're taking towards figuring out what to do with all of these migrants. I know that they have a reunification program set for children who arrived at the border without adults, but I'd like to just see. I know they're doing things, but they haven't released any sort of information in that regard, and I would just want to see what they're doing. I'd like to know sort of what I think that it's not a tall ask for an administration to be transparent about what their intents are. So that's where I'm on that one. I'm, as much as I would like to just, I mean, this may be fucking lib of me to say, as much as I like to be just free them. A lot of it's fucking unaccompanied kids, and I don't know where the fuck they would go.
So, I will say, according to this article in February from the Associated, from AP News, yeah, that's the Associated Press.
Yes, they're very good.
Yeah. So, ordered has deported immigrants to at least 3 countries, 15 to Jamaica on Thursday, and 269 to Guatemala and Honduras on Friday. So it seems as though...
Is that more... Well, I mean, it seems like a lot, but is that a rate that's like more or less than previous?
No,
I don't know enough about those numbers.
No, it doesn't seem like whoa, crazy, but it's still just very it's putting me at a place of like, what the fuck is this administration actually doing? You know what I mean?
I mean, how surprised are we in the fact that we elected a Democrat? It's me. I think I used the wrong expression before, but seeing the forest for the trees is just trying to, sort of separate things that I need to note that are things that we should be holding the Biden admin accountable for and be critical of, and things that are actually good things that we can appreciate and argue for better equitable solutions of. So just a quick example is, I think the infrastructure plan is good. I think dumping a lot of money in infrastructure is something that a president hasn't done in a long time. And there's a lot of things that need to be reinforced and et cetera. And the subsequent progressions that'll happen because it all seem good to me, in the sense that it'll help with workers, it'll help with people who are struggling to make ends meet and all those things, and also it'll start a push toward green energy. So that's the thing. Virus rollout, money toward making sure we can all equitably receive the vaccine, not virus roll, oh my god, vaccine rollout. Is a big thing to me because, again, I believe COVID takes precedent among many things.
Yeah, and Well, I think that there is still a bit of like, will you chill? You gotta chill. Sorry, the cat.
Yeah.
But I think that like, yes, vaccine rollouts, excellent. Do the thing, vaccinate everybody, please. Stick a needle in my arm.
Yeah.
You know, but I am also wondering if we are not taking a principled, or someone's not taking like a really principled stance on shutting down and like paying people to chill the fuck out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna be at a place of like new variants popping up, and then what happens if we become like a crazy cesspool of new disease? And there are, I'm just worried. I'm worried that we're not taking big enough steps. And like even the infrastructure bill, I feel like they should spend more money. But I always think they should spend more money.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think I don't know. There's always more that can be done. There's always room for improvement. Always room for criticizing.
yeah,
So what we have to do is keep people accountable. So we have some left-ish representatives in Congress that we can not lobby, but advocate to. Someone like AOC is very active on Twitter, and then of course we have our local representatives and stuff like that. Pat Toomey can suck a fat dick,
yeah,
but he's up for re-election soon. So those are things that we should we should be doing. So voting for the best possible replacement.
indeed.
But yeah, we're at an hour 10 here, so let's
We're gonna wrap the shit up.
yeah, wrap it up. All right, so this has been the Don't Panic podcast. Thank you so much for being here after a month and a half of delayed release. Just due to issues. If you're still listening to us in 2021, thank you so much.
Welcome back.
We can you can listen to this episode on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, you fucking name it. Please consider supporting us because, like before, we had to take a break because of some issues and issues that possibly could have been mitigated if we had some financial help that we're not getting from the government. So,
Right.
Patreon.com/Don't Panic Podcast. Please check us out. This episode will be out in a week, and we'll be getting back to weekly episodes. Anything you want to plug before I get out of here?
Nah, man. Just thanks for being a loyal listener. If you're sticking with us, and we're gonna be back at it, stronger, faster, harder, better, smarter.
All right, everyone have a good night.
Have a good night.